Welcome, fellow travelers. I'm Is There No One Else, and I'm joining Chibi and Vertek at the Golden Feather. Come on in, grab a seat, and let's share tales of adventure.
Hello, 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 and welcome to the Golden Feather Tavern, where your hosts, Chibi and Vertek, discuss Ashes of Creation and important topics spoken about within the Ashes community. Every week, we invite you, the viewer, and a special guest to pull up a chair, grab a pint, and join the conversation with us. Today is the 6th of February 2024. We are on episode 195. No one asked! And the traveling bard joining us today is there no one else? No one, how are you?
I'm doing really well. How are you guys? Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, fantastic myself, outside of the obvious issues we've had getting the show started today.
Yeah.
It's our pleasure. It's our pleasure. You know,
oh my gosh.
GB, how are you?
I'm doing well. That was quite aggressive, so it caught me off guard.
Oh,
Doing
no
well.
one asked?
Yeah.
It's all right. It's all right. You know, it just came out. I don't know what came over me.
He is. He is bringing the drama. Is that me? Am I the drama?
Am I the drama? All right. So, GB, what do we have on tap for today?
Oh my gosh. So today we're going to be talking about Caravan PvP game system thoughts and other random topics from the community, as well as a couple of fan focuses. But of course, if you like this type of content where we bring a random guest from the community and interview them for a little bit before delving into discussions from the community, feel free to give us a like, a follow, and consider subscribing on Twitch and our YouTube. Let us know you want to see more of this types of content. But more importantly, is there really no one else? It's just this person.
Just this person.
Where does your name come from?
Yeah.
So it comes from the movie Troy.
Okay.
If it is quite old at this point, but there's a scene where Brad Pitt's character defeats his foe, and then he stands in front of an entire army and says, "Is there no one else like that wants to fight?" And the entire army just stands there and stares at him because they don't want to. And I don't know, I'm very bad with coming up with names, and so when I find something that I kind of like, I just stick with it for as long as possible. So
That's fair. Very
Fair
fair.
enough. I like it. So at a certain point in your career, you're going to be the answer to yourself and just change it up to "there is no one else."
Yeah, I do the puns every once in a while. You know, I think once you have kids, you kind of inherit it. You know, it just kind of comes to you genetically to come up with as many puns as possible. But yeah, people in my Discord will make comments. They're like, "Yeah, no one knows what that means." And and then I'll comment, I'm like, "No, I don't know what that means." And yeah, they don't like it, but I get a kick out of it every time. So.
And for reference, I was talking with Nice about having Is There No One Else on the show, and he was like, "Do me a favor," and I was like, "What's that?" And he's like, "When you go to ask him what days work for him, just immediately follow it by no one asked."
Yeah, he made an entire emote in my, so it's the same shield that I have, but just on the bottom it says asked, and so
Yeah.
people ask me questions and stuff, and then they'll tag me with that, and yeah, it's the running joke. So
Speak of the devil.
I love it.
Hi,
Oh, is
Nice.
it in here?
Welcome in.
Speak of this guy. Welcome in there.
That guy.
yeah, it was pretty funny.
Aw.
So, for those who may not know you, can you give outside of the name lore, can you give a little bit of a breakdown on yourself, the kind of content you like to make, and what exactly about Ashes you became the most obsessed with?
Yeah, so I started making YouTube content back in like 2016, 2017. Back then I was playing the Elder Scrolls Online, and you know, we all have our social guilds and everything, and I was playing a bunch of different classes, and I had friends ask me like, "Hey, what are you running on this?" Because like I'd post a clip and they'd watch and they'd be like, "I want to play it, like what's that build, what's that setup," right? And so I found, instead of answering a bunch of questions. I was like, hey, I'll just record it for my friends and I'll just post it on YouTube. It saves on time, energy. Like it's out there. They can go back and find it later. And then it just started kind of taking off. Like one of the videos, I mean, you guys know, like a new channel, I got like 2,000 or 3,000 views on one of my first videos, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And nice. So I just kept doing it just for fun. And over the last few years, I've kind of moved on from ESO, and I've started covering other games that I like to play, just PvP content. And then I started covering Ashes of Creation back in 2022, and it's just something that it's the type of game that gets me excited for, you know, a future game that I hope it's as good as what they say it is. Cause yeah, it's there's not a whole lot else out there right now that's really catching my long-term attention. So
that's fair.
I feel that pain. In my soul. Okay, so since you guys were doing kind of a breakdown of the PvP thing, what would you say your typical role is in PvP? Like, what's your preferred? Do you prefer to be like a divey tank, or like a protect the healer tank, or do you like to be a DPS that just runs in and blasts everybody from behind a bush?
So I normally do solo PvP content. Elder Scrolls Online, I did a lot of outnumbered. Like I'd like to put myself in a situation where I'm not supposed to win a whole lot, and that was the challenge, was the exciting part. In New World, solo content isn't as common. I still did a lot of solo stuff, but mostly 1vx, 2vx, 3vx. And so in those types of situations where you're kind of you versus the world and you don't know what the world is going to entail, you kind of have to have a little bit of everything. You have to have a little bit of sustain. You have to have enough damage, burst combinations, and you have to just be able to line of sight like Chibi did on the Caravan live stream. So those types of things are just really important, and it's fun to go back and look, like even when you lose, like, okay, what could I have done differently? I always forget the name of the movie. It's that came out like 5-6 years ago. It's the Brad Pitt movie. It's where he keeps going back in time to like perfectly like run through regardless, like he keeps dying and he keeps spawning back up, and he has to like keep going back to perfectly like dive through this warfield. And it's just like outnumbered situations that kind of remind me of that. Like, oh, I could have done this better. I could have done this better. So and so I do a little bit of everything. I like to play tanky PvP. I like to play like fast, kitey, like really quick. And then I've also done tanky healers, off heals, stuff like that. Just playing all the roles and just kind of seeing how all like combat functions in different games. Like all of it catches my attention. Like if I really get hooked into a game, I kind of want to know everything so I can help people out and help them with whatever they want to play.
Yeah. Raka is asking, Inception. Basil says someone likes Brad Pitt.
Oh, this was Tom Cruise. I can't remember. Brad Pitt is nice. Not that way. I can't remember the name of the movie. It's it'll come to me later. I'll pull it up later.
It'll be a random shout out of nowhere.
Yeah.
No dots connected. Just out of the blue.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny.
So all I'm hearing is you live the Care Bear life and you avoid PvP.
Yeah,
got it.
Pretty much, yes.
Would be the quote. And sorry, Chibi, go ahead.
No, it's all good. So you do have access to Alpha 2. What kind of content are you planning to make during Alpha 2?
As much as I possibly can. I really like getting involved in systems, and so for me, like figuring out how the classes are going to work, how the combat calculations are going to work, how different classes, like there's 64 classes in the game, and seeing how intricate like each one potentially could be is going to be something. Like maybe you want to be cleric tank or maybe cleric fighter. I don't know. And like seeing how those different changes make or break like your build, like all that content's going to be a lot of fun. And just doing what we're doing right now, like what you guys are doing, what Nice Gaming and I are doing, just talking with the community about, what we're experiencing and providing feedback that Intrepid is asking for. So hopefully a little bit of everything.
Nice.
What about you guys?
I was just about to say, for me, kind of the same thing, just a little of all this stuff. And, when viewers say, hey, did you guys try the thing? What thing? The thing over there with the whatever. I don't know. Let's go try it.
Yeah, that sounds good.
For
And
me,
Matt?
I think I would just like to try all the different types of cleric combinations just to see what else there is. So, like what they feel like and things like that.
Sure.
Yeah, and I guess that kind of goes almost without saying for me. I'm going to be doing all the tank / whatever and trying to see if I can also fit in trying out all the whatever / tank. Just to see if I can, have some fun as a quote unquote DPS while also being able to maybe survive long enough to be like an off tank when needed.
Sure. Yep.
And
The bulky DPS life is a good time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I just keep having because there was an armor that came out during one of the cosmetic things. Now that you mentioned bulky DPS, like it looked very much like what I would imagine either a tank mage or a mage tank to use, but it had like no neck turning is what it looked like. Looked like an automaton. Oh gosh. Tank X tank equals mega tank. Check out treads. Not truthing tank for life. Tank.
Vertec hates, if you can't tell, the naming of that class archetype.
Oh, the tank. Yeah, tank archetype. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, just tank as an archetype name. It just sounds, he doesn't like it.
That's funny because Nice and I have had the same conversation. It's like all the other archetypes sound so good, and then tank is just tank.
Yep.
It's like, okay, maybe we rename this one to like, I don't know. What did we come up with? We came up with like Juggernaut. We came up like I think just about anything you could come up with would be better for that specific name.
A lot of good options. A lot of good options out there.
A choo-choo.
But it's cool. It's cool. I think I said before, like there's also the option of renaming all the other classes to just what they do. Like, we got tank, healer, range DPS, caster, pet class, stealth class. We got melee. Yeah, just support. Yeah, don't forget support for the bard there. Rename them all by what they do. It's fine.
Vertec feels attacked. Nice. Petition to change the archetype name. Let's make a Reddit petition. I was like, oh boy.
Being repressed. So, do you have a favorite actual class in mind, by the way? Or are you kind of zeroing in a little bit on just an archetype? Or are you doing the same thing as far as like all the different things? You're going to try them all?
My goal is to eventually try them all, but I typically when I play games, like I always normally start off with the kitey, fast, high damage class. So I'm looking at rogue. Rogue is like I'm either looking at rogue fighter or fighter rogue, like as far as like classes go, and those are what is it? It's Night. I think it's Nightblade, and then the other one's Duelist. And so I kind of like the melee brawler. I like the idea of just high damage in your face types of damage. But yeah, I'm also looking at Bard, to be honest. For my second character, I want one that like provides a lot of support in the group, and I'm very interested to see what they're going to do with the Bard archetype, because the idea of being able to still deal out damage but provide buffs to your group and amplify people in your group is something that I really enjoy to do as well. And I see a situation where this is one of the few games where Bard could actually be quite powerful, and being able to play something in this game that doesn't really get much recognition in other games is really exciting to me. So
yeah, oh no, the Bard thing, that's had me excited quite a bit.
I am excited to learn more about that. That was a really nice spoiler, though.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say the little sneak preview that Steven dropped last week. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, that was really cool. I can't wait.
Yeah, Mad Hatter says the only add-on I want is that you can change the music they play client side. That's all I'm asking. Fair. So, you keep mentioning how you make content with Nice.
Yes.
Can you tell us more about that? What kind of content?
Yeah. So Nice and I have done outnumbered PvP content. You'll see it on both of our channels. Not a whole lot, but that exists. The main thing that Nice and I do is we have our Voices of Vera podcast every Tuesday, which is today. But yeah, we do our weekly podcast where we cover different Reddit topics, different forum discussions, different discussions that pop up just in overall in the Ashes of Creation space to talk about like what's going on in the game, feedback. It's been a lot of fun to talk to the community about everything. And it also is not just that, but it's also fun because from following Intrepid since 2020, it really seems like they value feedback and information. And it feels like when you're having these podcasts and you're having these discussions that they're actually listening to good feedback and providing these things. And it just kind of feels like, you're helping facilitate healthy conversation and like head the game in a direction that people want to play. And so it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to talk to the community, and it's a lot of fun to just, have conversations. And we just, we do a lot of that. We're not at 200. Oh God, you guys are almost at 200 episodes. That's crazy. We just hit 30 and we were like, holy cow. Like
nice.
We've been doing this for a while. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So a little under a year then. It's a relatively new thing. Okay.
Yeah, about 6 months. About 6 months now.
Nice.
Okay. Hey, yeah,
that's
time
awesome.
starts to fly by real quick, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. It's like, I can't believe we've been doing this for this long already.
That's awesome. All right. Well, I feel like we should probably go ahead and jump on into the rest of tonight, unless Vertec, you had any other questions.
No. I mean, there's obviously always questions to be asked, but we've introduced our friendly bard. Now let's see what the bard has to think about stuff.
Which topic would you like to start off with? Tonight?
I was just looking at. Let me see if I can. Okay, so I just want to travel around Vera. I thought this would be a fun one to talk about.
All right, so you want to talk about the random topics first. All right, we'll jump into that.
Sorry. Yeah.
It's okay. But that's fine. You can choose the specific one. That works. Let me just go ahead and share that for you guys. There you go. This is from a member of the forums called Nexus 777, and they're talking about taking into account the game and node mechanics, the limited fast travel, limited inventory space, and citizenship privilege in the game. They're thinking that AOC is hoping for you to settle and help locally rather than explore the world. They said that they really like traveling and adventuring to new places, and Vera is a great world to explore, as we can see here in the video, in the a very exciting Alpha 2 kind of hype trailer that they created, and a variety of other showcases they've done of different node systems. What are your thoughts about this, Manor? They're worried about feeling constrained, or would they have the freedom to explore and witness great things around the world?
Yeah, I thought this was super interesting because I had a discussion last night on a live stream where we were talking about Caravan PvP, and we got into a bigger discussion about nodes and incentivization to join a node in order to progress your character and get gear and everything. But yeah, I was reading this and it's funny because I was thinking the same thing last night, like as we were going through it. I was like, yeah, they are incentivizing you to work together with people, but at the same time, like if you have connections with people to where you can get certain things crafted for you, maybe you don't want to be into artisan crafting, and like high-end master crafting isn't your goal. You don't really necessarily need to be locked down to a node in order to like complete your end game loop. And so, yeah, why not travel? Why not travel around and explore everything? Like Nice and I have talked about it, but I really want to spend a little bit of time being a pirate, like just like other games that I've played, we don't have a naval area. And so the fact that like over half this map is the open seas sounds really exciting to me. I won't really be locked down to a node at that point. I won't have people mad at me for me killing them in a PvP environment because it's full PvP all the time. And then there's also potential monsters that they haven't talked about out there. There's islands. And so I really, when I was reading this, I was like, yeah, I totally get it. Like the map is huge. And like we've been seeing the Riverlands for the last year now, and there's just so much more that they haven't shown us yet. And I feel like I'm in the same boat. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to see everything. I kind of want to see where everything is before I just like settle on a node. So
Right.
Yeah. I'd have to say I agree. I want to see a lot of the world. I want to get out there and explore, see all the things. When I'm not actively raiding in most games, I would be running around exploring, checking things out, trying to complete the map, so to say, unlock all this stuff. Raiding is not so much a thing in Ashes, so I'm probably going to be doing a lot more exploration. But then again, crafting and whatnot might take up my time a little bit more too.
Sure.
So, I mean, yeah, I want to get out there and see all this stuff too, but I really think that Nexus 777 there might be right with just everything in the game is built around developing a community and sticking with it.
Yeah.
And not really doing the exploration thing. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
You can also see it as a negative thing in terms of guilds and group play too, because let's say you do take the time to go halfway across the world of Era. Next thing you know, like your group is being attacked on stuff, and you know, maybe like there's a raid of monsters happening. Maybe you're 2 hours out. There's no way you're gonna quickly get back. You're just going to have to slowly travel 2 hours and hope there's still something to be a part of. Or just say, F it, I'm already all the way out here.
Yeah. Yeah,
you guys are on your own. I'm looking at flowers over here. So.
Yeah, exactly. Like I went over here and searched for more of those like bioluminescent night flowers that are only happening during spring, you know?
Oh, sure.
And over here it's spring, and over there it's like, I don't know, summer or fall, so it's not like spring yet. So I don't know, because I mean that's another thing. Like, do you risk going all the way that way just to get more of the flower, or do you try to find somebody who's selling it during like off season, right? And then there's like a lot of risk and reward with that, while keeping it where you're not even remotely close to the things happening near your home.
Yeah, it's such a cool and intricate idea that they have, where you have, like you were just talking about, they have different resources to collect at night. They have seasonal resources and all these things. And it's like, I totally like, I'm the same way you guys are. I kind of like, my main thing is, you know, I want to participate in a node, and I want to help build it up, and I want to work together with a group of people. But I'd be lying if I didn't want to also see everything else that they were making. I mean, they're clearly spending a lot of time on world design. Like it would be a shame to miss some of it, you know? Like that's how I kind of see it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Let's see. Another one of these is, can I ask for one AFK task in Ashes of Creation?
Yeah, I saw that.
And this is from the Reddit. From 30K2. It says, I'm needing to know if there's any justifiable task to just click on and walk away for 10 to 15 minutes and come back. It would have to be something, I guess, that you can have in your inventory. I get to play video games at my job, and if I'm ever pulled away, it's about a max of 10 minutes. Making it where I can just start something up and walk away would make it where no time is wasted, or that I don't have to log off. Being called away is 100% random and could even happen 10 times over the 8 hours. And a few people were talking about, you know, not wanting to fill the game with mindless junk, but that potentially the Profession stream we saw last year might hint at something like that. But what are your thoughts?
So this is tough because there are So I've never played a game that's had the AFK life skilling. Like that's how I kind of compare it. And I very well could be wrong. Like BDO, I think has this where you can just do the AFK farming. I want to say Throne and Liberty has it, or they had it. And I can't remember if they got rid of it or not, but I don't know. I don't want to say I don't want to back out of the question, but I've never played a game where you just have like something where you could do an AFK task. So I can't.
What games have you played? He's like, that's a bigger question than you
There you go.
Yeah.
To get more direct, have you played World of Warcraft?
I have not, no.
Oh, wow.
What
Okay.
about Final Fantasy?
No, I have not.
Okay.
KOTOR?
I have not. I know I'm getting judged really badly, right?
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
No,
Not at
I'm
all.
just kidding.
These are just ones that are off the top of our heads that you
Sure.
can queue up a bunch of things to like craft, and you can step away for a little bit.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So like ESO had this for research where you could research things to level things up, and it'd take an X amount of time, but you didn't need to be on your PC in order to do that. Like it would just run. It would run while it was going. Yeah, the most recent games I played Baldur's Gate. I played Elden Ring, New World, ESO, and then I play like Risk, but you can't be AFK for Risk either. So
yeah, I have no idea how New World works. I keep seeing you and Nice talking about it, but then I'm like, I have no idea.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. It just needs more content. Like that's the big issue it's suffering from right now. People get bored. It's recycled really quickly, and yeah, I don't know. It's fun for a bit. I'm still enjoying it, but like the people that played since the start, you can tell they're burnt out. Like they're waiting for the new stuff, and yeah, it has to come, or else they're probably not going to come back. So
yeah.
I have been meaning to get into World of Warcraft though. I do have a friend that told me that I could borrow his account and like he could, get me on Discord and he could talk me through how to play and everything. But I had other commitments first to do. But yeah, he's like, offers always open. Anytime you want to give World of Warcraft a shot, I'm happy to help you out. And I was like, okay, sounds good. So I might still get to that before Alpha 2, but we will see.
It's gonna be is there no one else first time playing WoW stream?
Oh, it's gonna be so bad.
Hey Nomad, welcome in.
I'll always say I enjoyed my time in WoW, but the biggest pain about it for all of my time, and the reason I can't play it anymore, at least, I mean, it's gonna be very hard to convince me to play it again. It's just the number of times where I've played it, and I got to a point where I'm like, yeah, all right, everyone's left again.
Yeah.
Let me try and find another group. No, I don't feel like finding another group. All right, tapping out. Or I got bored with something, or we hit like the end of that X pack and they had such repetitive mechanics for the end part of that game. Like there was a garrison thing where you could collect people basically as you quest. Okay. And earn them in game, and then you go back to your garrison, like your war table, and you send them all out to go fight things, and they level up and they bring back items and money and treasure for you, but then equipment for them also. Yeah. And that was one of those, like, you can set them to go out and explore and do things, and then you can just log out or whatever and come back like between 5 minutes and 5 hours later, and they've returned.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. You might have fun with it as a first timer going into it. You probably enjoy it. It's actually a decent game.
I feel like 20 years of content, I might be able to get a lot with it. But yeah, I'm right there with you. I've kind of been in the same situation. Like there's some mechanics of certain games that just kind of grind my gears at this point. Where so the one that's happened more recently is so for the last 2 years, I've been trolling my Discord because a lot of people have played Elden Ring. They won Game of the Year. They're talking about how hard it is and how hard bosses were. And I never played it. Like I never beat it. But I would be like, oh yeah, that boss is easy. I don't know what you guys are talking about. So I've just been giving them crap for a long time. And finally they're like, you have to play it and you have to beat it. Like you have to, And so I did, but one of their mechanics that they have is they have very difficult boss mechanics, but they have guaranteed drops on the boss. Mm-hmm. And that has opened my eyes so much to MMORPG, like low drop chance on different on loot tables, as far as like really low drop chance goes. And I don't know, like I just don't want to. I'm sure you guys have had it in World of Warcraft and other games, but where you have to sit at an NPC and just grind them off respawn rates for hours on end for like a part of like a weapon or a weapon itself or a material or something. And it's like, man, you guys are just farming the heck out of people's time with just a not so fun mechanic. It's not an enjoyable mechanic to partake in, to just sit there like an AFK click and try and get a light attack in to get these things. Like, let's have engaging moments to where like when you do win, you get the prize you should get for beating the content.
Yeah. Before I give my input, I'm going to catch up on what chat's saying real quick.
Sure.
So Chappie is saying, yeah, I think that's why we have node processing. Mad Hatter says new needs new content that last. I think we need. Pressure. Rocket says, oh man, 28 days per item to research tree is a pain in the ass in ESO especially.
Yeah. It was bad.
And then Mad Hatter says it's going to be hardcore as well. Nomad says, I'm with you for Vertec. Classic is still fun for me because iPhone 14 again, hardcore makes it good. And then Mad Hatter says, RuneScape be like.
Yeah.
And for me, I like the ability to be able like just set something and forget it and walk away. But the thing that I'm excited with Ashes is if that's something they let us have, I would also like the ability to actively work on it as well to potentially increase like quality or something like that. Something that allows you to kind of have that flexibility, because again, like, I mean, a lot, if you think about it, right, if it's geared towards older people, and this is mainly the joke that keeps happening with Stakano, being on any group chats, but it's like it's geared to like, you know, people like later 20s and up and stuff like that. And you know, that's a typical group of people who are starting to have families and starting to get super into their careers, and we're not 14 anymore who can just come home from school and grind on the video games all night and not worry about anybody else like having responsibility for. And so having these things where you can kind of set for a minute and walk away, swap out the laundry, get the dog some food, get yourself some food. You know, I think those are really important capabilities. Should it be in everything? No, I do like a very active game style. So watch me when he needs a job.
And yeah, I would basically agree with that too. And that's because I don't think proper MMOs are the place for like AFK things to exist. It feels cheap, it feels useless. Like if you can level or whatever while you're AFK, then why even have a game where you sit at a computer at all? Just put it on your phone, hit go, check in every once in a while like a little Tamagotchi and say, okay, look, I'm level 45. Awesome. Yeah. Oh, look at the armor I'm wearing now. That's cool. All right, and then put it right back in your pocket and keep on walking. Just enjoy that you have a living creature on a game somewhere that you are not controlling. But,
right, I was like, I'm looking at you phone games.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I like how the game values they're looking to make it value your time. So whether you have an hour or two in, whether you can play in the afternoon or whatever, it's like when you get in there, they're saying, hey, like this is going to be rewarding. It's going to be fun. Like the artisan crafting stuff looks awesome. Like it's not something I'm not normally like, that's not the main thing that I want to do, but everything I've seen, I'm like, wow, these are people that play games. They like this specific thing and they show it through their work. And I think that's really cool.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to move us along if that's okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Because we're a little shorter on time. It's already 45 minutes in. So the next topic is about main theme soundtracks for the different races and what would be your inspiration. And this particular person, Ascalon, who posted on the forums, is talking about like the Nikua having like a beachy summer feeling, like with a Little Mermaid. And they're just kind of wondering, like, what do you feel like would fit your character's vibes? And then Davey, of course, responds saying, I'm just happy waiting to hear what Bear McCreary themes end up being. But I don't know. Just this is more of a fun topic. I was wondering if you guys happen to have an opinion on it.
Man, put me on the spot here.
I know. It's more of a Moana feeling. Yeah, I could see that, Mad Hatter.
Ooh.
We are a fan of Moana in this house, that's for sure. So,
Becky,
Yeah.
the war drums. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Pirate, I feel like we're just more like that, like music by the river, relaxing audio with like nature sounds.
Just nature sounds.
Just nature sounds.
I know the song that I would like to be Vec, but not knowing more about their actual culture, I don't know if it'd be too hype and crazy for them.
Yeah,
That's
that's fair.
we were just talking about it in I think it was in guild chat a little while back. It's a group called Safri Duo, or no, it was in the Ashes AOC discussion. That's right. But the song's called Played Alive, and it's a bananas, like, I think they're bongos and toms and stuff, but it's a crazy drum track that turns into a heavy EDM dance song. And
Cool.
it feels so like raw and primal at the same time as modern and like fun. I like it. It one of those that gets your blood pumping, but in a good way.
Yeah. So this Yena War has this post with like a lot of different songs for different ones, and this Renkai one speaks to me.
Nice.
So I apologize for the tangent, but I loved the first season of Marco Polo. I thought the first season was fantastic, and then they just ended it. And so like when you have that your one favorite show and you turn on where they have the introduction and you never skip it because it's that good. The intro for Marco Polo was that was one of those for me where I just was always like, all right, like here we go. And so yeah, that's nice. Really good. That's a really good reference.
I'll have to look at that because I have no idea what that is.
Oh, okay.
But that's a good answer. Like I like songs that kind of get you going, and I think Bear McCreary is gonna do a great job at like really exciting people with the music and everything. So very much looking forward to hearing that. I'm gonna go ahead and move us over to the next topic, which is Caravan PvP. And funny enough, this is actually one of the post titles. And this is from Blessed CRF. And they're asking if there's any system mechanics that protects you and your group for a short while after you successfully take down someone's caravan. Just enough to heal and recover, maybe prevent an instant third partying from another group. My question is this something that you'd want to see? Is this something that you think would be a good idea?
I get the point of view. I like the idea of just the Wild West. And besides, you're an attacker. You just pillage somebody else. Why should you get afforded any luxuries?
Right.
I don't know. Like I could definitely see the perspective where it's like, hey, like let's get a reset in, because it's not fun being third partied by somebody that watched like two parties duke it out and they just come in and clean house. But at the same time, that's kind of the way PvP goes sometimes. So
right.
Yeah, it's a no for me. But what do you guys think?
Vertec?
Sorry, bear with me. My brain just completely exploded. As soon as I went to speak, I was like, wait, what?
Do you like the idea of after you've successfully attacked a caravan and taken it down, do you like the idea of there being time for you to rest and recover just a little bit before being able to be attacked by a third party, or not?
Yeah, gotcha. I don't think I do, to be honest. That's not exactly what I was going to say. I had literally like a thought in mind, and as soon as you were like, okay, Vertec, it just exploded and disappeared. But okay. No, I don't think I like having that rest point, because that's kind of the idea. All right, it's like you take over someone's caravan, and it's going to take you time to gather everything and get it on the road for yourself, and to get somewhere and take it along with you to keep as much money as possible. It's going to take some effort. So I think there really shouldn't be any kind of protected downtime there.
I'm gonna go ahead and take the moment to kind of, I guess, plug Zillin's video here. Zillin has an opinion, and also you might get a kick out of our requested to be a part of and scripted out skit that he made, including us. So
I'll save that for later.
Yeah, it's rather
it's actually pretty good. Yeah, it's actually pretty good.
But then he kind of breaks down into his thoughts on, you know, the attackers versus the defenders, and like his thoughts on who's maybe got a disadvantage and who's maybe not so much a disadvantage.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a good one. So the next question is, no, not really a question, but caravan loot as glint is as good as a chocolate teapot, which I thought was a rather interesting title.
That was a very interesting.
Yeah. And this is from Arya Yishi. They said caravan loot should match the cargo the caravan was transporting. If the loot is bulky, attackers should bring mules and wagons to snatch it and get away. Attackers would essentially become defenders, albeit labeled as criminals now. Everybody else should have free reign to dish out some street justice and assault the criminals defending the caravan. And this is kind of that whole idea that goes along the same vein of like, no, like it should be fair game. You stole somebody else's stuff, and now you should be prepared to defend the stuff that you just stole.
Absolutely.
It was something that they were mentioning is the attacker should be able to successfully loot and haul away the treasure. It's pretty lousy to hand them glints that they'll just stuff in their pockets and nobody will be able to pickpocket or kill them to drop the glints. However, Kadak, C-A-D-A-C, commented said that glint can drop, but only on a percentage, on death, like Matt's. So as of now, you could never recapture the original total if they open the crates, kind of thing.
Yep.
But what are your thoughts on that? Just the whole idea of needing as much, I guess, carry weight as what the original caravan has, as well as the glint stuff dropping.
Yeah. So I agree. I think whatever caravan you bring, like you shouldn't be able to carry everything. So if you don't have, like, if somebody has like the Pimp My Ride level like caravan with everything and the full max gear loadout, and you have something smaller, you should only be able to walk away with some of the stuff. I totally agree with that. The glint drop is interesting. I can definitely get behind this point because, yeah, until you get to the home base and you to get it turned in and traded, it should be able to be exchanged among whoever gets it beforehand. I think that makes a lot of sense. Because, yeah, like if you guys attack me, you know, just an innocent caravan driver, and you guys take my stuff, if somebody attacks you, like it would make sense that they would then get rewarded whatever you guys drop, right? I think that makes a lot of sense. I guess I didn't pay attention very much to that part. But yeah, I like it. I like it.
I would need to go back and rewatch the video, the most recent one, and maybe even some of the Q&A or whatnot. Just because I remember at one point there was talk about getting stolen glint from the caravans, but watching the video, I don't really recall him getting any glint. It was literally just more boxes that loaded right up into his caravan. And when he pulled up to the caravanserai, like the caravan thing popped open and there was, you know, like coal and stuff. And then he had other goods that he grabbed out of there and took to the black market guy.
Yeah. I think that is kind of the differentiator. It's that, like, if you were to loot the boxes instead of put it on a caravan, you're given a lower quality reward, if you will, versus just kind of tossing it into just tossing it into like your caravan and not knowing what it is and just turning it in at the end stage. Mad Hatter responded and said he got commodities that he bought with the glint.
Okay.
But also, the glint, like potentially dropping upon death, whatever you may have gathered from the world before defending your initial caravan when they attacked you, they'd probably also pick up some of that glint as well, I would imagine.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, though, in the end, like whatever they get, they're going to get more of it if they bring a caravan. So, like a lot more of it, apparently. So, if they're going to not get a caravan and just stuff whatever they can in their pockets, all right. You just flushed a lot of money down the drain. But, I mean, it's whatever. But go for it.
But then you potentially, let's say you got a group of people, like, is there no one else? Nice, myself, you, and Taffy all jump this caravan. Instead of us spawning a caravan that we have to then defend ourselves, we all start, quote unquote, pillaging the caravan goods after successfully, defeating it. And then we are able to go our own way with what we collected. And then that's an immediate payout, I guess, if you will, versus trying to create a mule or a caravan to then transfer the unopened goods and then have to defend that for a greater reward. So it's kind of like, which risk do you want to go with? Yep. It makes sense to me to a degree.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And for that, I think it's fine. I like the idea in general. But the next topic, I thought this would be kind of an interesting to talk about. This is from the forums as well. Doran is talking about having a table that you can draw, like a route that you want to go, like down from like node 1 to node 2. And you and the caravan defenders can kind of interact with it. So let's think of this from a guild perspective, right? The guild leader is like, hey, I really want to try to push this grouping of commodities from Miraleth to Winstead, and I think we should go this direction, and it will allow the other like PvP generals or the caravan generals to kind of be able to give best ideas of a route and things like that. And I thought that was really interesting. I wanted to hear your thought.
Yeah, I like this one too. This is a really cool idea. I think this is a great idea because, I mean, I don't think it's going to feel very good if you get your caravan sacked, and having these abilities to draw up route plans and everything so everybody stays on track. Being able to employ rogues or rangers as scouts out in the area to send them out beforehand, be like, hey, this is the route we're going. Maybe go venture out towards that direction, see if there's any big 20 or 30 mans roaming the area and see what's going on. And I think this idea is super cool. And even if they don't incorporate it in the game, this might be something that I just do on Discord. Like this is a great idea. This is awesome. So makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. I talked Blast into covering it as well. I feel so honored. Honestly, you don't have to talk us into it. If I like the idea, it's coming on the podcast. If I see it in the forums,
yeah, that's a great
idea. Yeah.
So it was a good suggestion.
Definitely something that I like the idea of. When I first started reading this, I thought it was going to be something along the lines of, you put the map down and you draw out your route, and then it's like going to be a glowing road or whatever when you're walking down the road.
Oh, sure.
And I thought, as neat as that might sound, that's going to make sure that definitely no streamer can possibly do the node thing. Because if you plan it out ahead of time before you start your stream, it's going to just show you a glowing line on the road and potentially on your regular map if you open your map. And I wouldn't like that.
Yeah, that would definitely kind of decentivize streamers from streaming a caravan run, if you will. Which honestly, that's a whole other conversation that I am interested in getting into more so tomorrow night for our Tavern Talk video. But let's say you created this wonderful idea of a route and you take your caravan down this route. Should there be magically sealed caravan crates? So that way it can help with kind of forcing whoever raids your caravan to complete said delivery to get paid.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm not sure how that would. I have to think about that. Okay, I'm going to think out loud because that's way better than me just thinking quietly. I think in some situations, like you might exchange at the same spot, but I think more often than not, you'll probably, like, if as an attacker, I feel like I would exchange somewhere else, because my fear would be, okay, if I just looted this caravan that's coming from this node and they were traveling to this node, there's a decent chance these two might be allied. And if I try to travel to that node and they, like, I feel like there'd be a decent chance I get attacked by the node whose resources I took from them. And so I might not want to do that, but it's a cool idea. It's a cool idea. Maybe if you provided an option for one reroute or something like, I don't know. It's a fun idea to think about for sure.
I think in general, the idea is like having it magically sealed so that you can't just pop it open. You have to just turn it in somewhere.
Okay.
Tyrant says perhaps this is the level of added security. That's a good idea, but you shouldn't be able to add too much security to your shipment. So I'm just kind of like poking around at that idea. My name will be Rogue Reporter.
Rogue Porter.
I love it. Rogue Porter. Nice.
So I think it would be neat with some caveats, kind of like Tyrant Thraxis was saying. Adding too much stuff to it is just going to make it more of a pain in the neck, which, you know, we did say that, or at least I said that I wanted some extra risk for attackers, right? But mainly I think it would be neat if one of the I forget the word that Steven used for it, but basically the little artifacts that you can get that will be stored in a node, like in the Metropolis or what have you, that when the node gets taken down, other people can steal it out of your reliquary. Right. Yeah, the relics.
Sure.
If it were one of those relics and it actually required some form of power to be fed to it, like even using glint as the power source or what have you, you have to feed it some glint in order for it to protect your caravan's goods, like paying a tax, and the caravanserai works as the officiator of, you know, using that relic to protect the goods.
Yeah.
But maybe only one or two nodes can possibly have one at any given time, and nobody else can have them. Because there's only two in the entire server at any given time, so that there would be another contested type item.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Which, you know, Amir could totally use that as a bargaining chip to get just some extra money or trade percentage, or to persuade someone to not siege them. Just, how about I just give you this and you give me like 100,000 gold and we just be friends?
I kind of also like it as an idea of a class utility. So if you have like a mage or a sorcerer, someone who can use Arcana to maybe magically lock the item. You don't have too many that you can do that with, but I thought that might be an interesting use of a skill.
Sure.
Actually. It's all good, Neri. Welcome in, all the same. I wanted to talk real quick, in case you guys didn't know, if you have not yet gotten your Alpha 2 key and you would like a chance at getting an Alpha 2 key, they're doing a Valentine's Day giveaway with the candy hearts, and you have to come up with a cute, a heartwarming, and a funny message to go on a candy heart. And that closes in 2 days from now. And they will be displaying everything next Wednesday. Which we'll be talking about next Wednesday. So that'll be fun.
A lot of fun.
Yeah. From here, we're going to go ahead and move into game system thoughts from the community. Now, talking about the whole idea of having your caravan raided, what do you think about the bounty hunter system? And do we want to see bounty hunter specifically for corrupted players, or would you like to see the option to place them on people who have maybe wronged you? So caravan attackers who just ganked all your hard work, etc.
Yeah. So I was reading this one beforehand. I think people are going to do this. So they talked about doing, I know they scrapped Enemy of the State, which is kind of what they're talking about. I really like that idea, the entire Enemy of the State. Me personally, I kind of see the bounty hunter as like the yin to the corruption system's yang. And if I feel like if you expanded the bounty system to cover more than what the corruption system does, then you'd almost have to expand corruption. Because I feel like they're just equal but opposite parts of the same system. But I do like the idea, and I would definitely do this. If I was the mayor of a node, if somebody so duly elected me, if there were certain guilds that were raiding an area, I would put a kill on site for this area. Like, hey, if these people are showing up trying to farm people, go take them out. I would reward gold or glint or however you go about doing that for node members, I guess. So yeah, he's just asking for integrated in the system. I like the idea. I like the idea. I just don't know if it would work for bounty hunting.
Yeah, fair. Vertec?
It's a tough one really, because I could totally see what Nick there was talking about with no need to make a system-based bully feature if you do it with anybody but corrupted individuals. But at the same point, I could see something along the lines of if somebody does slay you, even if they're not corrupted now because they recovered from it, like the last 5 people or something like that to kill you in open world combat. That maybe I could see something like that maybe, but
sure.
That's about all I could really see stretching it to be honest. What I did, speaking kind of the bounty hunting system, an idea that I did have that would be cool for bounty hunters and corrupted alike, the balance and everything, would be if there was almost like a randomly wandering troop of like gypsy folk that they don't care who you are. They're almost like another neutral territory vendor type thing. So they wouldn't be a node that would kick out somebody who's severely corrupted. They would still trade with them, so that corrupted would still have a place to trade, sell stuff, buy things, buy supplies, etc. But it would be one specific traveling troop. And bounty hunters, if they were to stumble across it or just know where it's at because other bounty hunters have passed along the message, they could absolutely stalk that little caravan and wait for any corrupted people to just flock to it. And it could add another risk versus reward. Yeah. If corrupted people need to sell that stuff, fence some goods to make some money real quick, they could chance it, but the bounty hunter might get them. And the bounty hunter might be wasting their time following that caravan. Who knows?
The idea I had was maybe don't touch the bounty hunter system on this, but I do imagine a group of self-proclaimed bounty hunters, aka mercs, rising up to fulfill this position of people who always want to be purple, right? And if somebody has ganked you out in the open, you have like this merc that you can hire to kind of take revenge for you if you so desire. But I could see it being its own player-made system rather than game-made system in general. But it was an entertaining thought in general. The next question is, what do you think of having... This is just more like an amusement, like amuse me kind of conversation from Fallen Saber. An unbeatable boss concept. So a singular boss hidden away, not core to the game, that is so difficult it would take a party of the most skilled players in each class with perfect teamwork to beat as an ultimate test of skill. And my favorite was Wacky Tabaki response saying, excited programmer screaming, behold, we have finally created the most intelligent perfect AI. What's it used for, you asked? It is solely used to control an unkillable boss in AOC. But what are your thoughts on that?
This is a great idea. I love the idea of a game having different varying levels of difficulty for different players. Because yeah, you want to make content for players starting out to get into the game so that they find things that they enjoy starting out, and as they get more experience, they become more veteran players. You have content for them to be challenged, and then you're always in every game, you're always going to have those 1%, 0.5% guys and girls, ladies that do content at a very, very high level. And having something kind of sneaky like this, where you have like a master title or something like that, really would give people something to work for, something really prestigious. Because the first, I mean, I'm sure you guys had this in World of Warcraft too, but the first time like content creators or raids completed like hard mode content in some of the games that I played, it got posted all over social media. It was a big deal. Like it was the first complete. And so yeah, having like a nearly impossible boss get actually beaten would be very cool. Be very, very cool.
Yeah, see, that's the type of thing that would live on in Legend, both as the unbeatable thing that nobody's going to ever be able to slay, and then that thing that it took somebody 7 years to beat.
Yes.
It's 7 years and 3 expansions. Somebody finally got it down.
Yeah. I have to say there is something to be said about respecting something that is super overpowered, that you realize that it's way out of your power league.
Yeah.
I guess a good example with this is Power World, where you have those giant mammoths that are right there. They're like level 32 in the starting zone area. And like you accidentally aggro one of those, you're flattened, So like there's like a respect for that power afterwards, and you become careful around it. You try not to aggro it after that. And I think that that's something that like it adds a threat. There's that level of nervousness, like, oh no, I hope I don't accidentally hit this thing. I hope I don't actually accidentally aggro it. But then it's also like that excitement factor of, oh my gosh, that was really close. It could have killed me and it didn't. I snuck past it or what have you.
Yep.
And Arctic says some EVE Online type stuff. Absolutely. Welcome in, Arctic House. But yeah, I think for myself, having a level of like Ashes and Air said, I think it's okay to make boss literally unbeatable for the first few years. Fine. Yep. I think it makes a respect thing. That's the thing that nobody is beating. It becomes an object for people to achieve for and strive for. Yep. And I feel like it makes that rose all the more sweeter when you're finally able to pluck it, essentially.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine with all the dungeons, or at least the raids anyway, that are supposed to be intelligently scaling to how players perform with previous bosses in it? Could you imagine if the AI for that like unbeatable boss concept that was locked away, where somebody would definitely not find it for like at least a year just because of things that you have to do in order to get there, whatever?
Yeah. And
the entire time it's just watching what all the other raid bosses are doing with the players and which skills are the best, and say that unbeatable boss has a selection of like, say 6 out of 10 or 4 out of 5 of the skills from every single raid boss that it can choose from, and it just looks at what the most effective one is that everyone always dies to, or the most people get knocked out of or perform the worst against, and it just keeps choosing those on an ongoing basis. And these are the ones that it's going to use, and it just trains itself just by watching everybody trying to play their best. And it picks up on their weaknesses.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I really like that idea. I love having the impossible to reach for object, or nearly impossible to reach for object, because that'll be a big deal if somebody ever completed it. It won't be me. It won't be me, but it would be a very cool thing to see somebody do.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm going to go ahead and move us over to fan focus, just so that we have time still to ship on over to Nice and also see you join over for the Voices of Vera. But there's this, I believe, AI music I came across that Nagrimer created. And they have a link to the webpage with the music on it. You can listen to it. There's lyrics and everything. I thought it was really neat. I think the lyrics are cool, and they were wanting to work on this for, it looks like a little bit, a themed song for Ashes. And I think maybe art might be coming soon. Not sure, but just thought I'd post that. I
really
don't
cool.
know what this suggestion is, but okay. The other thing I wanted to showcase is the goblin mask that Pockets created. So we talked about previously, Pockets had made this awesome goblin mask, but didn't grab any pictures before shipping it off to Intrepid, which we were able to get, thanks Pockets for sharing that, by the way. We were able to get a picture of Steven wearing the mask.
Coming up momentarily.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is so cool.
Yeah. I think the music is great as well. And the mask, he looks great in the mask. I have to say.
Absolutely. Let's check that out. That's
so
amazing.
So Pockets live streamed. I don't know if he live streamed all of the creation of this mask, but it was a big chunk of it. And so I was sitting there.
Yeah, sorry.
And it's such, I mean, this is not something I could do. I do not have these sorts of capabilities. When it turned out, like when he showed the picture with Steven, I was like, holy cow, like that is great. And I remember the thing Pocket said, he's like, I kind of wish I made the wand or scepter that went with it too. I was like, you made an entire mask. This is incredible. I thought it was great.
Yeah. This is super awesome.
But aside from that, looking forward to seeing more. There's some whip in our Discord currently on the next process that Pockets Art is creating out of foam. So yeah. Hey, Kurian. Yes, we are. We're actually wrapping up and about to head right over to Nice after we do a little bit of closing. Welcome in though. So on that note, is there no one else? Do you have any lasting thoughts or anything that you would like to share with everybody before we officially close out the podcast?
Man, I just want to say thank you for inviting me on. I think it's great what you guys are doing. Content creators like you and what you guys are doing kind of reminds me a lot of what Vladis is doing, just kind of bringing the community together, kind of getting conversations started and everything from all different aspects. And I think it's great. I think it's really awesome. And I'm just happy to be a part of it. So.
Well, we're happy you can be a part of it as well. Thanks for stopping in. Definitely appreciate it. We wanted to get you on since, for a while now. We had some people already scheduled up, so we had to figure out when we were going to be able to get you in. We were super happy you got over here.
Yeah, I agree. And thank you. No, seriously, Pockets Art. And honestly, we like to try really hard to get people when they have new content. We try to get them on so that we can share them with you guys. Because I don't know, it just feels like the right thing to do. We're a community podcast, so sharing content creators with you guys. We're so grateful to have had as many content creators start their journey with us as well, and we hope that we continue to bring exciting stuff. Next project, make chibi actual antlers. I would wear them on Wednesdays. I would.
Guaranteed.
But my final thoughts are I'm excited. I feel like the Caravan PvP was very interesting to watch. I definitely got picked on for maybe my lack of healing skills. Nice. Not here to defend himself. I can do that too. But no, seriously, honestly, we love this community. And the next thing that we're working on besides our anniversary stream is a guild group together. So hoping to get a good little guild summit going in
Nice.
April. So
that's great.
Thing. Yeah.
Hey, I just want to say that we for a good 30 minutes before Nice did what he did there, we were very complimentary of your gameplay, because you were the only one staying alive there out of your entire group for a bit, and
I have no idea how that happened. Like, Nice was way too nice to me. I'm gonna be honest. We were watching your stream after our podcast last time, and he was like, "Look at TV. She knows what she's doing. You may think she's just flailing around, but look at her. She's jumping. This is strategic."
That's exactly what we do. So yeah, it looked like you had it all planned.
I did no. I'm just jumping. I don't know how to PvP. This is the same thing I do in Overwatch. I just start jumping. I have no clue. Well,
that's what PvPers do. You jump. You got that down pat. So
awesome.
No, it looked really good. Like from my perspective when I was watching it, I was like, wow. Like every time, like you had so many people gap closing on you, and you were clearing the distance with your jumps, and I was like, well, she's playing this really well. Like she's playing this really well. And then you got behind the caravan, and then it was like you got pulled into the pile, and it was over. Like they just pulled you in, and then it was good game. But there's nothing you can do about that.
Folks. You heard it here first. Playing Overwatch is great practice for after the creation PvP.
Yeah, we're gonna need some of those 1vx tips, Chibi. Nice and I both. You're gonna have to put us through boot camp. So
let's see. Then the question becomes: was she really jumping around frantically, or is she currently right now playing some good 5-head long game, trying to trick you into thinking that she was just senselessly jumping?
I think she's trying to hustle us. That's what I think. I know what I saw.
Oh, shall we go ahead and start the raid?
Yeah, let's get it going. Thank you everybody for hanging out here. So much appreciation for it. You came in, you hung out with us. It's the most amazing kind of support you can possibly give, and we are appreciative of every moment of it. You spent your time here. You do not get refunds on that. Once it's spent, it's gone.
Yep.
We're glad you spent it with us.
And if you like this kind of stuff, but maybe you just want Vertek and I to, have our opinions, we'll be back tomorrow night with our Tavern Talk, which is more of an IRL thing instead of our VTuber.
Indeed.
But for now...
Don't make me leave, says Mad Hatter.
Well, we have to bring the voices of Vera to the voices of Vera. It just makes sense.
True. It's true.
Oh.
Everybody, you take care, have fun, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.